Welcome to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig, and we're at the hill because it's time to take another legend up there. And that legend is brought to you by Land Rover. Brian, what do we have?
We have the Defender, finally on the show. We've been actually asking for this for a while, and it randomly showed up last week. We're super excited about that. This one happens to be the 130 flavor, which means it's about that long. It's about a football field long. It's just optics. If you're used to the proportion of the 110 or the 90, this just catches your eye in an awkward way. But it's a great three-row. As we've showed in our road test, go watch that video. It's actually really good at doing three-row things. It's solid. But let's talk about off-road. That's what we care about right now. Up front, you've got this prominent nose and Defender and letters across the hood. It's like that. That's their theme, is doing dimensional letters. They kind of started that. And I love this painted brow right here. Now, something I want to point out is that this is not the off-road flavor of this truck. It does not have the push bar. It doesn't have easily accessible tow hooks. It doesn't have things like that, or the winch. These are all things you can get from the factory. This just doesn't have it. All right, come on the side. Let's talk about approach angle. We've got it in its highest off-road height right now, and that's how much room you have right there. It's about 30 degrees of approach angle. We'll show you on the screen inside in a minute because it tells you what your approach and departure and breakover is based on the height setting you're on at the moment. But normal height is about here and access mode is about here. You can also set it to when you leave the vehicle, it goes to access mode so you can get out and just not have to get up and down. That's pretty cool. Wheel and tire, we've got an optional 20-inch wheel. These are a $1,300 option, and I think they're just fine. I don't think they're anything to write home about, but some people will just want a nice looking 20.
They're quiet.
They're quiet. I'm talking about the wheel itself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The tire, the Pirelli Scorpions, these are fine. They're a great highway tire. We've used them for years. They're fine in the rain. They're not an off-road tire. You can get a better tire from the factory. Again, this one was just not spec'd that way. This is spec'd as a family hauler, so just keep that in mind. But you peek in here and you can see the short, long arm suspension and that big air shock back there, and that is what Land Rover is known for. They've been doing this for almost 2 decades now and doing very well at it. They've mastered air ride better, I think, than anybody. Behind that are big brakes, and that's something I think it's cool. You have to get 19s on the Defender at this spec because of the brakes needed. On the 4-cylinder, you can get the Steelies with 18s because they have smaller brakes. Coming on down, with the 130, you can see how long this wheelbase is. Yeah, that's not longer. That's the same as the 110. The length that you get is back here. You get another 12 inches about right here, gives you more tail. And that affects the departure angle. Departure angle being from the lowest point, which is the trailer hitch, to the tire. That angle is worse than the 110 or the 90 would be. All that covered, let's hop inside and check out the off-road modes.
All right, there's a lot of off-road goodies to go through, and it's kind of cumbersome to get through them all, but Brian's going to do his best to show us because Land Rover likes icons and all kinds of menus, but show us what we got.
Okay, well, right away, I just want to show the screen here is where most of your stuff is at, but there are buttons here. Now, in the older stuff, you had toggles and physical controls. Some of them are embedded here, but on the left side of this little silver marker is most of your off-road controls. That's your hill descent mode, that's your auto start stop. This is your ride height. So we've got it in the lowest mode now. I'm gonna put that up to medium. And you're gonna see when I do that, normal height selected, see how these control arms are getting flatter? This is showing you your pressure in each corner. That's what these little bubbles are on the side. It also shows you your angle of control arm and drive shaft. It also shows us the center diff is unlocked. This unit does not have a locking rear, but it has a locking center. Back down here. So those are your up and down controls, traction control, and this is your low range. So if you put the transmission in neutral, hit that button, it'll quickly switch over to low. Now, to change between terrain select modes, there isn't a dial on its own like there used to be. You have to hit this guy right here, and it actually toggles the AC mode to being the selector for it. So you've got different things. You've got eco, you've got normal, you've got grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand, rock crawl, wade mode, which is meant for going through deep water, and then configurable. So just like the old LR3s and LR4s, you've got flip over mode, you've got cactus mode, all kind of stuff. So they're the same titles. Wade mode is interesting. We'll get to that here in just a minute. Ride height has come up to normal because we've messed with the modes here a second ago. The main screen is cool because it gives you quick icons up here to tell you where you're at, what settings you're on, your high, your normal, what you have going on. Also, you've got your bearings, Craig. You've got 0 degree of incline, side incline. You've got 1 degree of incline right here. You got your actual bearing, your direction with your compass, and then your altitude, which is super cool. It kind of reminds you where you live in the country. So we're between 800 and about 1,000 feet up here. And then you can go to wade sensing. So this mode will actually, you got to get in the right mode for it. In fact, let's do that. Let's toggle it over. Well, Okay, well that's not working right now. We have used this before and it shows us where we can go in the water. It might be because Craig's standing right next to us, I'm not sure, it might be part of it. But that's pretty cool, I like all that stuff. The other thing I want to show you is that it gives you dimensions of the vehicle itself. So right now, here's the dimensions we got. You can do it in feet, you can do it in European, you can do it in American. This tells you all your approach, your breakovers, and your departure angles, also the overall dimensions. So when you go to that McDonald's drive-thru, you know 6'3" is all you got to play with. Also your wheelbase and breakover. So let's take it up to off-road height and see what happens with this gauge. Okay, there it is.
Well,
now it's at 11 inches.
Okay, but no breakover.
All right. So, all right. So what's happened here is we've tried to demonstrate what it can do, and it does tell you the ride height is now 11 inches because we're at elevated height, but your departure angles aren't there. When you bring it back down to normal, wait for it, we're lowering. This will change to 8 inches instead of 11. Boom. So now you have your departure and breakover angles. They don't show you on high or low, but they do show you when you have it in normal mode. So that's pretty cool. All that covered, Craig. I think it's about time to run up the hill. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I definitely agree. And look, the good news is, you know, when it's higher, you get a better angles. That's really basically it.
It's better than 30, which is cool.
But yeah, let's take it up the hill.
All right.
All right, so it's now time to get it up the hill. Let's see what this bad boy can do. Should be plenty capable of the Land Rover legendary capability and all the traction controls and modes and height and all that fun stuff. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get on up here. And normally, you know, normally we start losing traction about right here, but we've got all the modes and nannies and heights. We should be good. So far so good, not breaking any traction. We should have the approach here. Looking good. Oh, plenty of approach. It's not going to be a problem at all. Losing a little traction here. We don't have lockers.
We're in normal height.
We're at normal height. 4 high?
4 high.
4 high.
Normal mode.
And no scrape there. It's got it. Oh, not, what a breeze. And that's exactly what we're talking about. The Land Rover legendary capability. You get luxury and capability all in one. Brian, that's what Land Rover is known for.
Incredible.
Incredible. I mean, it just really didn't even have to think about it.
Normal height, I can show you here that we had it in, this has conventional controls. Normal height in street mode, traction control was off. So
wow.
Just gets it done. It tells you that the legacy program works really well at Range Rover and Land Rover. And just to explain why we're in the LR3 is because Land Rover requested we did not offer the Defender. So we thought we'd give you guys a view of our normal film vehicle, what it can actually do, and we left the Land Rover down there. So hopefully in a different review we can get it up here with the non-130 edition.
Yeah, kind of frustrating that a Defender with that name and capability, because it does have the capability, there's no doubt.
The same tech from this. In fact, that has the second version of this system.
It would have been even better, honestly, right. And it would have been no problem at all, but we just couldn't do it. So there's that, and that kind of shows you what the 130 is designed for. So
yeah, it does, but it also goes to show that the tech works so well that 16 years ago it got it done. So this is the best way we could represent it for you. Hope you guys enjoyed the old beater up the hill. And we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and like. That's how we keep making more of these. And without it, it's hard to do that. So keep doing that. Thanks for watching.